Watercolor is a very relaxing medium. I just draw a little rose in here to show you today the wet and wet technique of watercolor, which I really adore. It's so beautiful and transparent, and because I mix the colors on paper as well, I just show you how to. If you draw something on watercolor like I do, always use a 2B pencil, and if it gets too strong, just erase it slightly so you don't see the drawing lines in between or when it's finished. I use wet on wet, so a lot of water goes into one shape. You just have to really, really wet it. You don't want to see puddles, but you want to see a nice glaze afterwards. So what I do, because it will be probably a kind of, say, red rose, so I put already a few petals in this water. Don't touch them because they would spread together. So I just separate them and I just dampen them all. Now you have to absorb, I can't show you now, but it has to be absorbed, it has to look silky. I always call it silky. If there are puddles on, the watercolor wouldn't spread. So you have to wait a little bit. Sometimes you can take it off with your brush. It depends how big the shapes are, of course. But I just take it off, and then in a moment I could start. So now I take, this looks very good already. So I take a nice red. Can you see I took a lot of water, I go into my color and I just let it spread. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I love that. You see, I go with red, and say I would go with my orange, not red, with my orange, and I go in here as well. If it gets lighter, you just need a little bit more color. And can you see I dip it on? If you put a line in, like that, it will be a line. Can you see? But I don't want to achieve that. I want to let it spread. Can you see? It's beautiful. I use 185 grams because it spreads the best way. I use some cadmium yellow, and I go exactly to the other side and I let it run together. You see? Now I move the paper and it runs together. And it's gorgeous. I can even put a little bit of yellow in here, and I would do the same on each shape. But I just like to show you the end result. I always have two jars, one for clean water, one for the dirty water. And because I want to be very precise, I want to go onto the edges. So I just go very careful now with more or less a nearly dry brush and mix it. Never scrub the paint, because then it won't be that kind of transparency anymore. So then I would do exactly the same with the next one. Nice. So sometimes if you want to have a kind of more orange, you just mix them together straight away, orange and yellow together. And sometimes, because you've got beautiful color, paper, you want to leave sometimes a little bit of the white as well, so you even can lift it a little bit. Okay, here's my rose. Bye bye, see you next time.